Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome back to one more live with Neetus. This is Anne with you, and we are going to conduct a live which is listening. So, last session, the people who had not joined for the live, for them, we will just give you briefly what we had discussed in the last live. Like we have just started new lives in the morning from 10 to 11, and I am right now taking the listening module, right? So last week we had started with listening, one practice test. We had discussed one section 1, and today we are going to do section 2. But before that, we had just discussed a few things about the listening module, like what is the listening test and what are how is the format, the marking system, and all those things. Well, maybe many of you have joined today and had not attended the live, right? So I will just give you a brief about what is listening test. Now, like I had mentioned last time, listening is the same for both academic and general. നിങ്ങൾ ഏത് ടെസ്റ്റ് എടുത്താലും അക്കാഡമിക് എടുത്താലും നിങ്ങൾ ജനറൽ എടുത്താലും നിങ്ങളുടെ ലിസ്ണിംഗ് ടെസ്റ്റ് സെയിം ആയിരിക്കും. ലൈക്ക് the whole formatting, the question type, everything, right? Wherein you have 40 questions, 10 questions divided each section. നിങ്ങളുള്ളത് 4 sections ആണ്, right? അതിൽ 4 sections നിങ്ങളുടെ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഒരു കോൺവെർസേഷൻ ആയിരിക്കും ഓൺ എ ജനറൽ കോണ്ടെക്സ്റ്റ്. പിന്നെ ഉള്ളത് സെക്കൻഡ് സെക്ഷനിൽ ഒരു മോണോലോഗ് ആയിരിക്കും. ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി അഗെയിൻ എ ജനറൽ കോണ്ടെക്സ്റ്റ്. തേർഡ് ഈസ് ആക്ച്വലി അഗെയിൻ എ കോൺവെർസേഷൻ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ 2 to 4 പീപ്പിൾ, right? Other, it will be a academic context, and again the fourth one is again a monologue which is on academic context. So like I told you, ഇത് രണ്ട് ജനറലിനും അക്കാഡമിക്കും സെയിം ആയതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു question settings, right? The more the like when you progress the questions as they progress, the difficulty also increases. So last section 4 ആണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ഏറ്റവും difficult section listening ഉള്ളത്. Difficult means don't get scared that you cannot solve it. With, like I always say, with rigorous practice, listening is a module where you can always aim and score between 8, 8.5 and 9. Your aim should be always 9, but then yes, not less than 8, right? Okay, so നമ്മൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ഇത് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് after that I had told you that there are many challenges, like every module has or challenges. Listening also has some much challenges. അതിൽ ഏറ്റവും നമുക്ക് foremost ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്, like we should be always focused on our audio. That is very much important. 30 minutes test another, like you are made to be heard 4 audio clips, like between the range of 3 to 7 minutes, right? It ranges like that. Audios cannot be paused, it cannot be replayed. So you have to be focused on that. You have to listen to it once very clearly, and then if you're going for a computer test, you have to answer along with the audio. And for the computer test people, they get 2 minutes extra to recheck your answers. When if you're going for a paper test, you will get 10 minutes extra for transferring your answers, right? So these are some things which I had told you, and some of the points when we were discussing the type of questions. Well, definitely we are going to take a live wherein we will discuss all the type of questions in detail, like how to solve. Not in this one, we are doing a practice test here, right? So almost around 10 to 11 questions in listening, right, which has to be solved. Each question has to be they have got different strategies to solve, which we are going to definitely discuss in one live, right? Okay, so now the other day we had taken a practice test from the Cambridge exercises, and we had solved section 1, right? And there's some in here, just one moment. Okay, we had solved section 1, which was actually a conversation between a lady and a police officer, right? So today we are going to take the section 2 of that same test, right, with a different audio clip. Okay, അപ്പോൾ നമുക്കൊരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യാം, like I will not give you all those tips and tricks and everything in one in one go. When we are solving the questions at that time, whatever we come across, accordingly I will help you out with the easy methods or some way outs to how to solve that particular question. Okay, so let's go to our audio clip. Please listen to the audio clip, and then after that there are questions for that, 10 questions which we are going to discuss after the audio with the answers. Okay, so let's go to the audio clip.
Half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 2. Section 2. You are going to hear a news report from an Australian radio programme. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 13. Now listen to the news headlines and tick the 3 other items which are mentioned.
This is the 6 o'clock news for Tuesday, the 25th of November. And first, the headlines. The Prime Minister has promised to help the drought-stricken farmers in the northern part of the country who haven't seen rain for nearly 2 years. And in Sydney, a group of school children are successfully rescued from a plane which landed in the sea shortly after takeoff. Transport workers are on strike in Melbourne over a pay claim, and the strike looks set to spread to other states. And on a fashionable note, there's to be a new look for the staff of Qantas, Australia's national airline.
Now you have some time to look at questions 14 to 21. As you listen to the rest of the news, complete the notes in the spaces provided.
The Prime Minister has pledged today that he will make $250 million available to help the drought-stricken farmers who have not seen rain for years get through the next 5 years. Money that was to have been spent on the restructuring of Sydney's road system has been reallocated to what the Prime Minister described as a more worthy cause. Farmers are to receive financial assistance to help see them through the worst drought in over 50 years. Many farmers feel that while the money is welcome, it has come too late to save them and their farms from financial ruin, and are angry that the government did not act sooner. A group of school children who were travelling in a privately chartered aeroplane from Sydney to Queensland to take part in a musical concert found themselves swimming for the shore when their aeroplane had to land in the sea just 3 minutes after taking off from Sydney Airport. The pilot managed to bring the aircraft and its 50 passengers down safely in the calm waters of Botany Bay, where boats and pleasure craft were able to come to the rescue of the boys. The fact that it was a weekend meant that there were hundreds of boats in the bay enjoying the good weather, and this undoubtedly helped the rescue operation. "We owe our lives to the skill of the pilot," said one of the boys, but the pilot replied modestly that it was all part of a day's work. However, all their musical instruments were lost, and they never got to play at the concert.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, so that was the audio clip for the section 2 questions, the questions from 11 to 21, and now let's go to the questions and then the audio script. So how we are going to solve is that there are questions from 11 to 21 in section 2, which has been divided into 2 types of questions, right? 11 to 13 are questions of multiple choice, right? And then from 14 to 21 the questions are note completion. Okay, so first we will solve the questions 11 to 13. So now you have listened to the audio. Anybody who has written down any of the answers for the question, you can just drop down in the comment box, right? And now we are, along with the questions, we are going to the audio script. We will discuss, we'll just go through the audio script and we will discuss like which are the correct answers for the questions. So let's see question number 11 to 13. Question number 11 to 13 is tick the 3 other items which are mentioned in the news headlines. Now this is a multiple choice question, multiple choice. There are 2 types of questions in listening, in multiple choice questions in listening. It's multiple choice, single choice, and multiple choice, multiple choice. And this one is MCQs with multiple choice, means you have to choose more than one option. And you can see here one has been already selected for you. Okay, now the remaining 3 of the other items which are mentioned in the news headlines, because the audio was a news reader reading a news, right? So he mentioned some of the incidents which has happened in the news. നമുക്ക് അതിനകത്തുനിന്ന് ഏതാണ് ഈ ഓപ്ഷൻസിൽ ആ ന്യൂസ് റീഡർ സംസാരിച്ചതെന്ന് നമുക്ക് ടിക്ക് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യണം, right? Now one thing to remember, they have given an example B, money promised for drought victims. So നിങ്ങളുടെ ആൻസേഴ്സ് ഇനി നെക്സ്റ്റ് 3 ചോയ്സസ് അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടേ വരൂ. Okay, after B you are going to select 3 other choices, right? അത് വരുന്നത് between C and I ആയിരിക്കും, because listeningൽ how the audio is progressing, okay, same ഓർഡറിലാണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ആൻസേഴ്സും ഉണ്ടാവുക, റൈറ്റ്? അപ്പം the ഓഡിയോൻ്റെ പ്രൊഗ്രഷൻ എങ്ങനെയാണോ അതേപോലെ ആയിരിക്കും നിങ്ങളുടെ ആൻസേഴ്സും ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത്. സോ അതുകൊണ്ട് ബി അവെയർ ദാറ്റ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ഇനി ഓപ്ഷൻസ് വരാൻ പോകുന്നത് ബി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള ഓപ്ഷൻസാണ് നിങ്ങൾ 3 സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യേണ്ട ആവശ്യം ഉണ്ടാവുകയുള്ളൂ. Okay, fine. So this is how multiple choice questions are given to you. Now how do you solve this type of questions when it's a multiple choice question? Now there are like first option given is nurses on strike in Melbourne. It is Melbourne oru സ്ഥലത്തിൻ്റെ പേരാണ്, and it was already mentioned in that അത് Australian news are. So Melbourne is a place in Australia. So then that is nurses on strike in Melbourne. So not necessary അവർ മെൽബൺ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആ ന്യൂസ് തന്നെയായിരിക്കും പറയുന്നത്, but exactly it's a keyword for you. Then they are telling passengers rescued from ship and passengers rescued from plane. 2 options are, both are passengers, right? Both are, one is from ship and one is from a plane. Then they are telling bus and train drivers national strike threat. Now bus and train drivers, now be always aware that ഓഡിയോയിൽ തരുന്ന അതേ വേർഡ്സ് അല്ലായിരിക്കും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അവർ സ്ക്രിപ്റ്റിൽ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസിൽ തരിക. ദേ വിൽ ബി ഓൾവേസ് പാരഫ്രേസ്ഡ്. Don't look for the exact word like passengers or bus and train drivers if that is one of the choices. Okay, don't look for the same words. Other all, like you can say 90-95% it's always paraphrased, and that is what all the test in IELTS is about. Okay, then they have teachers demand more pay. So anything about teachers, if any paraphrased word, then yes. New uniform for Qantas staff. Now Qantas has been given in capital because it is a name of an airline, Australian airline. So that is something which is again a keyword. The national airports under new management. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഓപ്ഷൻസിൽ ഏതോ 3 ഓപ്ഷൻസ് ആണ് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അടുത്തതായിട്ട് ചൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. So now let's go to the audio script, which will help you get the answers from 11 to 13. Fine. Section 2. We will read and we'll try to get the answers. Section 2. One second. Okay. Section 2. News reader. This is the 6 o'clock news for Tuesday, 25 November, and first the headlines. This is what he says in the beginning, and then after that he starts with the news. The Prime Minister has promised to help the drought-stricken farmers in the northern part of the country who haven't seen rain for nearly 2 years. Right? This is the first news which he says, and I've highlighted the drought-stricken farmers. So when you look at the example which is mentioned over there, which is already, they have already ticked. Another, they have ticked the option, which one? Money promised for drought victims. So the victims here are the farmers, because they are the ones who went through this drought. Okay, so the victims here, they have not given you the word farmers, they have given you the word victims, but the farmers are actually the victims here because of the drought stricken farmers. That means the farmers who went through a drought, so they are the victims, they went through that difficulty, right? So the money promised, so that is one news, that one news they have already selected for you. Okay, that is an example. This is how you have to get the other choices. So let's go to the news again, and you can see that was the first one. Then, and in Sydney, a group of school children are successfully rescued from a plane which landed in the sea shortly after takeoff. So now when you read this particular section, the sentence, and when you listen to it, when they are saying, and in Sydney, a group of school children were successfully rescued from the plane. The word rescue is something which helps you to understand that there was some mishap happened. Something must have happened. Now, since it's a plane, maybe it has landed somewhere and the people had to be rescued. So there is some mishap which has happened. That means a group of school children were successfully rescued from a plane which landed in the sea shortly after takeoff. So when you go to the options here, you can see there is one option which says passengers. We saw the word passengers. They have not mentioned who is that. They have mentioned passengers rescued from ship and passengers rescued from plane. So ship is not mentioned. We are looking, they directly told it's a plane. Now anybody who travels in any mode of transportation, be it a plane, be it a ship, be it a bus, or be it whatever it is, right, they are called as passengers. The people who pay money to travel through a mode of transportation, they are generally called as passengers. So passengers is the synonym they have used, or an word which they have used for the children. The children were traveling in the plane, right? That means they were passengers, right? So the passengers, they have been rescued from the plane. So that is our first option out of those three, first choice out of those three which we have to select. Fine. I hope that is clear. Now when you go forward with the news, you can see the next piece of news which the news reader has read is okay. Transport workers are on strike in Melbourne over a pay claim, and the strike looks set to spread to other states. Okay, so there they are mentioning transport workers. Transport workers means the people who are employees who are working in any transport. It can be a railway, it can be bus, or whatever kind of transport. So they are telling transport workers are on a strike in Melbourne over a pay claim, and the strike looks set to spread to other states. Right now, Melbourne, actually we had looked in another option, but that was something different new piece of news about the nurses. And nurses are not, even though they are employees, they are not transport workers. Right. So transport workers here are on a strike in Melbourne. So when we go to the options, choices again, you can see that there was an option choice which was telling about something, bus and train drivers national strike threat. So strike is another keyword which is mentioned over there. They are talking about a strike, but they are telling transport workers. So when these bus and train drivers, what are they? They are transport workers, because bus and train are kind of a transportation, right, which is used to transport people from one place to another place, right, or goods. So this is the word which they have given, bus and train drivers is equal to transport workers, right. So that is how you determine that is the next choice out of the three, bus and train drivers national strike threat. Okay. Then next, so we have got two of the choices, now one is remaining. So we have to choose one, the next piece of news. So when the speaker is going forward, he says about a news which is okay, and on a fashionable note. So here that is the word fashionable note, but then there is a better keyword there, Qantas, which is already given in the choice. Other choice Qantas no word tannittundu. It's a national airline of Australia. Appa, on a fashionable note, fashion is connected always to clothes. Fashion means clothes, accessories, whatever, mainly outfits, right? So on a fashionable note, there's to be a new look for the staff of Qantas, Australia's national airline. Right. So that is the last piece of news as in the choice which they are giving. That is, he is telling that the staff of Qantas, the employees of Qantas are going to get a new outfit or a new uniform. That's why he says on a fashionable note, a new look. Now new look can be anything. No? When a person is going for a new look, maybe they can cut short their hairs, okay, or they may color their hairs or anything. But here in the beginning they are telling on a fashionable note. Like I told, fashion is always connected to outfits. Most of the time it's outfits. So here there's a new look for the staff. How? There's a choice there, there's an option there in the choices which says new uniform for wanted staff. So uniform is a kind of an outfit. It's a cloth which is worn by the employees of a particular company, right, wherever they are working. So these people have a uniform and which has been decided to be changed. So now they are going to get the new uniform, right. So we have got the third choice. So these are the three choices. These are the three items which we have to choose out of the given options. Okay. So whenever you are solving a multiple choice question, at that time whatever the choices are mentioned to, whatever the options are mentioned to you, out of that you try to get the keywords to track the answers when you listen to the audio script, right. So some words, like I always say, never go to the audio blank. Okay, if you go to the audio blank without understanding what you are looking for, or without identifying the question type, or without identifying the questions, or without identifying the instructions, it will be difficult for you to track the answers when you are listening to the audio. Okay, it's something like you will have to, at the end you have to go a guesswork, right. So you should know what you are looking for. So we understood that what are the piece of information we are looking for. That makes it very easy to track the answers. Okay, so that is how we solve questions 11 to 13. Okay, now we will go to the next part of the audio, which was questions from 14 to 21. You already listened to the audio. Now these questions are: complete the notes below by writing no more than 3 words. So it's a note completion kind of a thing. You have been given some information which has been taken from the audio and some blanks are mentioned. You have to fill up those blanks. Okay, they have given not more than 3 words. That is very essential. Following the instructions for listening, that is applicable to writing also, the reading also. Whatever the instructions are specifically given to you, like here it is no more than 3 words. That means in the spaces provided. Now each blank you can write 1 word, 2 word or 3 words, but not more than 3 words. Okay, that is what instruction is telling you. Okay, so let's see what are the questions. Now when you go from questions 14 to 21, the first note says the government plans to give, there's a logo there, it's the sign of dollar, right. So that means dollar dash to assist the farmers. That means when the sign is given as dollar, you definitely know it's going to be an amount, okay, because it's a currency. So definitely it is going to be an amount. Now how is the amount to be written, that you have to decide. To assist the farmers, this money was to be spent on improving Sydney's, just one moment, okay, this money was to be spent on improving Sydney's dash, okay. So something connected to the city which has to be improved. It can be something like its infrastructure, or maybe it can be something, some service which it is used in that particular city and we have to bring improvement in that, right. But has now been reallocated, that particular thing. Now reallocated is something which you have to note, okay, that is something which has now been reallocated. That means this money was actually to be spent on something connected to Sydney's, but now that has been changed to whom it is to be given. Australia has experienced its worst drought in over 50 years. Okay, that is one information which is given to you, that Australia has, maybe it is of use for you or maybe it is not, because there is no blank over there. But such informations help you to understand which is the part of audio wherein you have to look your answers. The moment it is, this part of the information will be there in the audio clip. So the moment the newsreader is giving this information, you are sure that your next statement, like the next blank, is going to come after that, right. So these are some things, even though that information is of no like use for you, but still it makes you understand that okay, the next blank 16th is going to come just after that. The farmers say that the money will not help them because it is dash. Why do they say? It's a reason. Like when the farmers are telling that they don't want that money anymore because there will be a reason in the audio clip what you are looking for. Right? So that is how you get an idea what you are looking for in the audio. Once you get that 30 seconds which you get to plan, okay, which not plan actually, wherein you get to look at the questions. You look at the questions, you understand what type of question is and what you are looking for. That will make it easy for you to track the answer when you listen to the audio. Okay, fine. So let's go to the audio script now for the section questions 14 to 21. Okay, so the next part where the newsreader is telling all these things, we will go read by one. The Prime Minister has pledged today that he will make $250 million available to help the drought-stricken farmers who have not seen rain for years get through the next 5 years. Okay, so now here there is a number which I have highlighted, $250 million, and we are looking for an amount in dollars, right? That is our first blank. But what was the blank about? In the note it is telling, or it is asking you to fill up that the government plans. Now they are telling the Prime Minister has decided. Now don't get confused in this. This is how they will always try to give different form of the word or different form of the sentence, like in a synonymous manner. Now when you say Prime Minister, who is that? Who is the Prime Minister? Prime Minister is a part of the government, right? He is a representative of the government, right? So that should not confuse you. When he says the Prime Minister has pledged, means the government has pledged. Pledged means decided. What is a pledge? We normally say a pledge when you were in school. What is that? Some decisions or some things which we have decided to follow, right? That's a pledge. So the government plans to give how much? They are telling $250 million, right? Now the instruction says not more than 3 words. So not necessary you have to write in words only, because in listening, numbers or figures, when you write in words as well as numbers, both are the same. When you write 250, for example, you are just writing, if you are writing the number 10, you write 10 or you write TEN10. Both are the same. Both will be correct. Okay. So here, if you get confused, now I want to write in numbers 250, but I am not sure how many zeros in $250 million. Don't worry. You have got an option of writing more than 3 words. You can write 250. Dollars are already given, right? So you can write $250 million. Okay, so that you can write and that will complete your answer. Or you can just write 250, dollar is already given, 250 and then write million. Okay, that is also correct for you. Either ways, in listening you can write numbers in figures as well as words. Both will be treated as a correct answer. So your first answer for the blank is $250 million is already given to assist the farmers who are drought stricken, right? Now the next blank says this money was to be spent on improving Sydney's dash, right? So they are telling this money was to be spent on improving Sydney's dash. So we are looking for the audio script wherein that piece of information is mentioned. Now when you go forward after the $1 million thing, now see here the speaker has given some information like that farmers who have not seen the rain for years get through the next 5 years. Now that piece of information is actually of no use for you. There is nothing connected to that which has been asked for you to fill in the question sets, right? But somewhere some of this information is actually a breather for you, right? It's kind of a distractor which has to be taken advantage of, right? Now every information given in the audio is not connected to your question. Some of the informations are of no use, okay? They are distractors for you sometimes of a particular variety, but then those can be taken advantage of. That is actually giving you a breather. It is making you able to focus on your, it is actually giving you information what is going to come, the forthcoming information, right. So, money that was to have been spent on the restructuring of Sydney's road system has been reallocated to what the Prime Minister described as a more worthy cause. So, now we had noted the word reallocated when we were listening to when we were reading the questions. When we were listening to the audio, or when you were looking at the questions, you will definitely mark that word reallocated, right. So, what was the money for? The money was actually for restructuring what? Restructuring Sydney's road system, right. The roads of Sydney were to be re-innovated or restructured with this money which is to be given to the farmers. However, what the Prime Minister has decided that the farmers who are suffering because of drought, their need is more important as compared to Sydney's road structure. So, that is why he has reallocated. That means allocation was done for road maintenance, but that has been now given to the farmers. So, the money was for road maintenance or maintaining the road, Sydney's road system. So, when you go to the choices, when you go to the question, you can see that there was a blank. This money was to be spent, that means that was the first decision of the government. It was to be spent on what? Improving, okay, restructuring. Like I told, when you are renovating or restructuring something, that means you are making it better. You are not going to destroy it. You are making it better. You are improving it. That's why you are, like, if you are renovating your house, that means you are adding something, you are upgrading it. So, that is improvement. So, there they told restructuring. That means it is some improvements to be brought into Sydney's road, to improving Sydney's road system. So, the 15th blank, the 15th answer for the 15th question is, you have to fill in the blank with the words road system, because Sydney's is already given. So, Sydney's road system, but has now been reallocated to the farmers. Okay. Okay. Now, next they are telling, Australia has experienced its worst drought in over 50 years. That is something which is told, and then they are telling, farmers say that the money will not help them. So, the money which has been allocated to them, the farmers are telling that money will not help them because there is a reason which definitely, when you are looking at the question, analyzing the question, you will come to know the speaker definitely is going to give a reason why the farmers don't want that money. Okay, why it is not going to help them. So, when you look at the script, you can see that it is mentioned over here. Prime Minister, okay, farmers are to receive financial assistance to help see them through the worst drought in over 50 years. Now, the moment the speaker says this 50 years, you make sure you be double attentive that the next part is going to be your information about the reason, right, why the farmers don't want the money, or they think that not don't want, why they think that it is not going to be of any help to them. After that, they say many farmers feel that while the money is welcome, it has come too late to save. Okay. So, the reason they are giving is that it has come too late to save. Now, whenever you fill up the blanks in such kind of note completion or sentence completion questions, you have to take care that you are grammatically correct. The reason it has come too late. So, how are you going to write it in the blank? The blank, you just read the blank. If you read the blank, you can see it is mentioned there, because the farmers say that money will not help them because it is. If you write come too late, it is come too late, it is grammatically incorrect, right, even though you have got an option to write 3 words. So, what is going to be grammatically correct is that farmers say that the money will not help them because it is too late. Okay. So, it is not going to help them because the money is too late, right. He has come late or he is late, he is too late. So, that is same. So, you can write it is too late, right. So, that will solve your answers from 14 to 16. Now, going forward from 17 to 21, the blanks which we have to fill is the aeroplane Now the next piece of information, an aeroplane which was carrying a group of dash was forced to land. That is, we are looking for the 17th answer, that is a blank. An aeroplane which was, normally aeroplane carry people. So it can be a group of, some group of people, okay, they have been given a noun or whatever it is, we have to look for as a noun definitely what we are looking for. So an aeroplane which was carrying group of dash was forced to land just dash minutes. Now when you see this minutes, you know it's a number. Whatever number it is, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever the number is, that is definitely going to be a number because it says it's minutes. So minutes is the keyword which you look for. After takeoff. The passengers were rescued by. Now definitely they have been rescued by someone or something or whatever it is that we have to choose. It is going to be most probably a noun. The operation was helped because of the good weather. The passengers thanked the dash. Now, normally when you want, whom do you thank? Generally we thank someone. So it is going to be someone, it is going to be a noun. For saving their lives, but unfortunately they lost their dash. Now we lose a lot of things, right? Most of the time it's materials, things, objects, whatever it is, right? So it can be a noun. Now when we say we lost our memory also, but here being, for example, I am telling, but here they are telling for saving theirs, but unfortunately they lost there because they have been saved from a mishap or an incident. We can make a wild guess that it is going to be maybe some of their luggage or something like that. Okay, it can be a wild guess. Okay, so that is something like that. So this is how you will determine what you are looking for. Once you determine that, then you go to your audio clip, right, when you are listening to it. Anyways, go to means it will definitely play it for you, but before that time you have to decide what you are looking for. Now let's see the audio script. When you go to the script part, you can see that they have read till come too late. After that, okay, them and their farms from financial ruin are angry that the government did not act sooner. So that piece of news finishes. The next one is, a group of school children who were travelling in a privately chartered aeroplane from Sydney to Queensland to take part in a musical concert found themselves swimming for the shore when their aeroplane had to land in the sea. Okay, that means the children were the passengers in that aeroplane. They were, like I told earlier, anybody who pay money and travels in a mode of transport, they are the passengers. So a group of children who were travelling in a privately chartered aeroplane from Sydney to Queensland. So they were the passengers in that plane. Okay, and they were swimming for the shore. When do you swim for the shore? When you are in middle of the sea or ocean or whatever it is, right? So you are swimming for the shore. That means the children are in the, like they are in the water, right? So the blank, the question which says here, the blank which says you to fill up is says, an aeroplane which is carrying a group of school children. Specifically you have to write school children. Anyways, you have got an option of writing more than 3 words, so you can write a group of school children was forced to land. Now they were forced to land. Just now we are looking for the minutes after the takeoff. So they are telling they are travelling from this particular place, they have taken off, and now the school children were forced to land. Now when you go to the part of the script, you can see that they were swimming for the shores when the aeroplane had to land in the sea. Now nobody lands in the sea. Whenever a flight is taken off and when it's landing, it lands on a runway or some land. But then here we had the word forced to land. Because there was no other option, they had to land somewhere, so they landed in the sea. That was forced to land. That is the word which they have used there. So because it is not given here, they have landed in sea, doesn't mean that it's not mentioned. They are forced to land, they had to land in the sea. When? Just 3 minutes after takeoff. So we are looking for that minutes. So that is 3 minutes after takeoff, and that is our answer. That is 3 minutes from Sydney Airport. The pilot managed to bring the aircraft and its 50 passengers down safely in the calm water of Botany Bay. Now this is an information which has been given to you. That means this is nothing connected with this information is available in the question sets, but they have given you. The pilot managed to bring the aircraft and 50 passengers down safely in the calm waters of Botany. Now these passengers have been safely brought. and we are looking for a part where we are looking for who are the people who saved them, right. So that is where the next information will come. So that is where it says where boats and pleasure craft were able to come and rescue, come to the rescue of the boys. So that is where when you are looking at the questions you can see that they are telling that, one second, okay, they are asking here that the operation was held because of, okay, the passengers were rescued by boats. Okay, so that is your answer. The passengers were rescued by boats. The operation was held because of good weather. Okay, then they are telling the passengers thanked someone for saving their lives. That we are looking for that person whom they thanked, and then what did they lose? That is what we are looking for in 20 and 21. So when you go to the part of the audio script, you can see that they have mentioned here, we owe our lives to the skill of the pilot. Okay, that means when do we owe our lives? That means we are obliged or we are thankful to them, right. So they are telling that we owe our lives, we are thankful to the pilot because he is the one who saved our life. So the pilot is the word which you have to fill in there. Okay, and then said one of the boys, and then the pilot replied modestly, it was all part of a day's work. However, all their musical instruments were lost and they never got to play their concert. So when you write the last blank which says that they lost some things, right, musical instruments, so it's mentioned there in the question set. Just 1 minute. When you go to the last question, it can say, unfortunately they lost their musical instruments. That is what they will fill, and then you will complete your blank. Okay, so we have solved section 2, questions 11 to 21, right, and I hope that it's clear with you how we have solved the MCQs and note completion. Okay, so what we will do is that we will end it here today, and we are going to connect for the next session. We are going to continue with this same question set, practice set, with section 3 questions. Okay, that is what we are going. Till then you people practice well, and if you have got any doubts, please drop in the comment box. Thank you all, and you all have a great day. Bye.